Hey guys, welcome back. Last week we were talking about the first few episodes of Dahmer. We talked about Don't Fuck with Cats, Hocus Pocus 2.
Did you finish Don't Fuck with Cats?
I did finish Don't Fuck with Cats. I did.
Oh, by the way, for everyone who's listening, I don't have COVID, so chill. I did have a head cold, ear infection that's causing me to be deaf in one ear. So
I mean, even if you did have COVID, we're doing the responsible thing. We're doing this remotely. So you don't have COVID, but even if you did
remotely.
Oh god.
Okay, so I want to talk about, because this is going to be quick. The other thing we were talking about was Motley Crue. Now, if you follow me on TikTok, I asked, like, specifically my account, not ours, hysterical account, which is Skits with Tiff. I had asked the TikTok community to help me find the Motley Crue story about the guitar that went into the ceiling. Now, my dad thinks it's some type of Mandela effect because he remembers hearing a story about a guitar going up into the ceiling and it playing or whatever in the app. And he's like trying to find it. And it was in some like documentary thing. I forget what it was called. But he did send me this article and it says Motley Crue, The Haunting of Nikki Sixx. So in the autobiography, The Dirt, A&R man Tom Zutaut, I think his last name is, who originally signed the band, shared this spooky encounter that happened in Sixx's apartment. He says, "I swear to God, I saw this with my own eyes. A knife and a fork rose off the table and stuck into the ceiling just above where I was sitting. I looked at Nikki and freaked out. There is no more shout out with the devil," which is the song. Right. "If you keep shouting with the devil, you're going to get killed. You can believe what you want, but I truly believe that Nikki had unknowingly tapped into something evil, something more dangerous than he could control, that was on the verge of seriously hurting him." Interesting, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but also, like, okay, have you seen the movie which is based off of the book The Dirt?
Maybe I might have, but I'm not too sure.
It's not that old. It's just like maybe a couple years old. I've seen it like a million times because, like I told you, Alan loves Motley Crue. Almost as much as he loves Metallica. So that's saying something.
Okay.
And I mean, everyone knows these guys were into major drugs, like, and Nikki Sixx, he like struggled like big time. Like in the movie you see like like it was bad, you know? So part of me is like, okay, was this really something paranormal or was he just on a really bad high?
Well, Nikki Sixx isn't the one who said that.
Oh, wait, so who said it?
It was the person who signed the band.
Oh, my bad. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah.
So it's Motley Crue adjacent.
Huh?
It's Motley Crue adjacent. It wasn't the band. It didn't happen to...
No, so what happened was the A&R man... Tom Zutaut, Z-U-T-A-U-T, he was the one who originally signed the band.
Gotcha.
He went to Nikki Sixx's apartment, and that's when he witnessed a knife and a fork levitate off of the table and shoot straight up into the ceiling right above where he was sitting. And he told Nikki Sixx, "You need to cut out what you're doing, because you tapped into something really evil and it's dangerous and it's going to like go out of control and eventually it's going to seriously either hurt him or somebody else."
Gotcha. Okay, my bad. I thought this was Nikki Sixx like retelling the story.
No, so gotcha. that was I guess the person who signed up.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so that's what I was like, it's very interesting. So my dad, like, he remembers it as a guitar.
Right.
So he's trying to find it. So if I do find that story, we can start talking about that. But unfortunately, as of right now, it's just a knife and a fork, which is still kind of like, wow.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Huh. Okay.
Um, Go ahead. I'm gonna drink some water because I'm about to cough.
Okay, yeah. I know Vince, I believe the way you say his last name is Neil, but Vince Neil, who's one of the guys from Motley Crue, has a few like paranormal things. So like there was the haunting of, and I believe it's a series, but he was in one of the episodes. So it was the haunting of Vince Neil, and I believe he's had paranormal experiences, contact with the spirit of his daughter who passed away when she was only 4 years old. So,
You know what I think is crazy, and it really does. It it's really used on Halloween, specifically in October. I feel like is the Ouija board because it's marketed as a toy, but it
yeah,
really is not a toy.
it's not a toy. It's not a toy.
It's
And
not something that you fuck with, and people play with it thinking it's just a joke, it's just a toy, and it's like no, it's not.
I'm not like steadfast of like, oh yeah, I 100% believe in ghosts or anything like that at all.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't mess with these things. Like, no, I'm not going to take that chance. Like, it's like my neighbor might be a serial killer. I don't know for a fact, but I'm still not going to do anything to piss them off.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Oh my
it's
God.
just
That's crazy. Well, speaking of the Ouija board and demonic stuff, Dahmer. So
okay.
you got up to episode 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think I finished 6. I think I'm on 7.
I have so many questions, but the main one I want to ask, I can't ask because you haven't finished the series yet.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so wherever, like, so I can't remember. Where are you at right now?
So like we know that so there was the young man who was deaf that he was kind of having a relationship with, and it showed 2 instances where he was considering drugging him and basically doing what he did to this young man as he did to every other young man.
Okay.
But he changed his mind. But the young man had to go back to where he was living because he met Dahmer in the town that his mom lives in, right?
Yeah, so he had to go back to where his city because he was working. He was a model.
Yeah. So, and Dahmer like didn't want him to leave. He left.
Abandonment issues.
Yeah, he had abandonment issues, which is explainable. I mean, his mom just like took off. His dad was like, his dad didn't know though that the mom had took off because the mom and dad were divorced. The dad was like kicked out of the house, basically, or moved out of the house, however you want to say it. And basically, the mom took the children, but the mom finally had enough and decided that she was going to take only the youngest son and just leave, and left. I believe he was 17, maybe 18, but he was still like a senior in high school. And
he was 18 at the time. I think he was 8. He might have been 17. Well, actually, yeah. But I think it was wrong for what she did, but clearly from the show, she was not all there. But I also think the father has a lot to blame, too, because how are you not going to check up on your kids?
Yeah.
Especially knowing that his ex-wife was unstable.
Right.
Because from the first couple episodes, she tries to, like, kill herself.
Yeah. They even touched base in saying that they believe that she had postpartum depression. What? Oh, so he had met this young man. He had abandonment issues because of all of that, which makes sense. This young man had to go back to where he was living for work. Dahmer, like, is about to kill him, doesn't kill him, but then the young man forgets his keys and has to come back and then we don't really know anything. And then we find out that Dahmer did kill him.
Okay, so so here's my thing. Imagine if that guy wouldn't have forgot his keys and would have left. My theory is that Dahmer would have gotten like anxious and had anxiety, probably would have killed somebody that night or morning or whatever, or that night probably.
Right.
Probably would have went out, probably would have killed somebody because he had that urge, had that empty feeling. Or, and then when he came back, he could either have lashed out at that young man, or he may have not have killed at all, waited for him to come back. He finally came back. That earns Dahmer's trust, and he could have been in a really good, serious relationship and filled that void, because from the show, it looks like that's all he wanted. He wanted someone to fill that emptiness, to not feel abandoned, and he felt like he wasn't going to come back.
Yeah, but Dahmer knows, like, he's very self-aware. He knows that when people get too close to him, they get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the board game that he made up. If your piece gets close to my piece, then you get lost in the vortex or something like that. And, like, it was an analogy for or a metaphor, whatever.
Yeah.
For
his life
and how he feels about himself, that if people get too close to me, basically bad things happen and they disappear because he hurts them.
But then, like, them. I feel like it changed depending on how much of, if we go based off of the series, right. If what was said was very close to what that young man actually said to Dahmer, like, we don't have to play that way. We can play our own rules. It doesn't have to go that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, like, people always leave, or people or stuff always happens to people that I care about, or he knows that he might hurt somebody. Like, that guy put it in a perspective of, it doesn't have to be that way, though. So I think it was changing him.
But not enough, because,
because personally, you want to know something?
Okay.
I think what was left out of the story was, I think Dahmer actually got jealous of the deaf kid and killed him. Because the deaf guy was bisexual and he also had a girlfriend at the time.
Wait, who?
Yes!
Who
was the deaf guy, the model, was bisexual.
Tony, or whatever his name is. Anthony, something like that.
Huh?
His name was like Tony or Anthony, right?
I forget his name. I think it was Tony.
Yeah, okay.
He was bisexual and he had a girlfriend. And he was with Dahmer, I think. I don't know if they were at the same time. That might have been left out of the story. But I think that's what actually happened.
Huh. I don't know. Theory. There is. See, I haven't gotten to that part yet. There is another thing on Netflix, where it's like.
Well, that's not in the series, by the way. I want you to know that, like, I'm not telling you something that's not in the series. Like, it's not there.
Okay. Well, there's like, confessions of, like, a serial killer or whatever, but it's with Dahmer, and it's known that he was very, like, open and, like, confessed and, like, yeah, this is what I did.
Okay. So I just wonder if that might have been a contributing factor that maybe he didn't realize.
Maybe. Was this girlfriend? Okay, was this girlfriend in the city where he worked?
I don't know.
See, because to me,
in real life.
Yeah, that would make sense. Huh? To me, that would make sense if the girlfriend was in the city that he worked, and then Dahmer felt like he's leaving me to go back to her.
I think that's something we would have to do research on, because in the actual series on Netflix, that's not even mentioned that the deaf model was bisexual and that he had a girlfriend. That's something I looked up, and I was like, that's interesting. Because me and my dad were watching the show, and we're like, I wonder what this man actually looked like in real life. And he was a very attractive young man. Very attractive model.
I figured. I mean, to be a model, you know, you do have to be what society deems as attractive. So that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got to finish watching it. I'll probably watch an episode or two tonight.
Well, yeah. So once you finish it, the final Dahmer thing, because this will be uploaded on the 17th on Monday.
Yes.
Right now it's Thursday. So on the 24th or the 31st of this month, we'll conclude the Dahmer series, and I actually have it's a religious question.
Okay.
In regards to Dahmer.
Okay.
And it makes you kind of so I'm a Christian. So it's what are you? Are you apostolic or?
It's still Christian, and obviously I'm not apostolic. I wear makeup, I cut my hair, dye my hair, and I wear pants.
Well, a lot of people at our cousin's church do that now, and they're accepted there.
Okay, that just kind of irritates me because I was scrutinized so much for that stuff.
Yeah.
And to this day. What?
I was gonna say, back in a couple years ago, they had this event, and they invited me there, and I was like, for sure I'll show up. I showed up, and my snake bite piercings, right. I had my hair cut, ton of makeup, skinny jeans, a Motley Crue shirt that basically no, it wasn't Motley Crue. No, it was just a rock band shirt, but I had my vest that had Exodus patch on the back.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, you accept me the way I am.
Yeah, and for me, even to this day, I would not go to that church wearing pants, wearing makeup, wearing jewelry, wearing the only jewelry I would wear would be my wedding ring, and it's mostly of even though they don't do wedding rings, it's more of a I'm married, it's okay that I have these kids, don't hate me, even though my kids were born before I got married, but still, don't hate me, I'm married.
Yeah, it's quite judgmental there.
Oh, very. But yeah, I would never.
Spinning around. So as a Christian, yes. Though, I guess as we are Christians, I have a very it's a question regarding the series of Dahmer that makes you think, interesting. Just when you finish it, you let me know.
Okay, I'm very intrigued on this question when it comes to.
Well, I can ask you now. I can ask you the question.
Okay, does this have to do with the fact that he was he converted and all that stuff while he was in prison?
Kind of. So yeah, so my question is, as you finish the series, my question is, do you think Dahmer went to heaven when he died? Now we'll talk about this later.
Okay.
What do you think?
My thing is we as Christians are taught that there's, I believe, no sin that is unforgivable in the eyes of God.
Right.
So I believe that if anybody is truly remorseful for their sins, and only that person and God knows that, and I believe that, yeah, they probably go to heaven. Do I think it's hard as a human to feel like this person deserves to go to heaven. But one thing we learn is that's not our place. It is not our place to judge.
That's true. So we'll talk more about that at a later date.
Yeah.
But what did you think of Don't Fuck with Cats now that you finished it?
It was good. I mean, I kind of thought that there was going to be more. The way they made it seem was oh my God, this guy is so horrible. I'm just okay, yes, killing anybody or any animal is bad. It is.
Right.
I just thought there was gonna be like more videos, more killings, more stuff like that. Like in a way, thank God there wasn't, and they were able to catch him in time. Obviously, not in time for him to not kill anybody at all. But you know,
Right.
for like it's hard to say. Like you don't want to say, oh, fortunately, he only killed one person, but like it could have been worse. You know.
Okay.
I think it was crazy how years in advance he was creating practically an alibi. When it came to this Manny character that he was in an abusive relationship with, that was forcing him to do all these like horrible things and was forcing him to do the videos with the cats and do the killing of that young man and everything, like that it was planned so far in advance. That I'm just like, you are a freaking mastermind.
Yeah.
Like it didn't work.
I just think that like what was really scary, I think, because we usually, when we see like Dahmer, when we saw like, okay, so he was killing men, and you know, it was already killing people. Same thing with Ted Bundy and that Gacy guy and all that stuff. Like, it was already people. Whereas, like, the don't fuck with cats things, it, like, showed the progression of someone, a psychopath. What they led up to. I'm going to start with this. And, like, from a psychology base.
Okay, but
like they say,
in
usually
Dahmer,
you start off with animals and move up from there.
But in Dahmer, it showed him starting off with animals.
Huh?
In Dahmer, it showed that he started with animals.
No, but I'm saying, like, that's because we found out about it later through his story, through him talking about it. I'm talking about, like, if he didn't open his mouth about his childhood, all we would know about are the murders that he committed.
Well, no, because there's been documentaries where his his family members have spoken up.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, the difference is, like, they're telling a backstory about Dahmer, whereas the Don't Fuck with Cats, you're seeing it firsthand.
Oh, okay,
through the video, through the process. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just like, okay, if you're a serial killer, you have hurt cats or dogs or squirrels. Like, it's a given for me, so.
I think they were testing. He wasn't exactly sure if he wanted to actually hurt people. I think he was testing the waters on his limitations, how far he can go with it, if he could get caught.
Yeah, I think it was more of a experiment of how can I do this, and can I do this without getting caught? I don't think it was do I really want to hurt somebody? It was just, I know I can do this. I know I can kill an animal. I don't know if I can overpower and do everything that is required to kill a person. I need to fix, like, I need to make sure everything is in order, or, you know, in order to follow through with the main thing of killing a person.
Yeah.
You know,
still crazy. Like, to know that, like, so here's the thing too. I was talking to my dad about how, I think our last episode I talked about how there's really not that many like serial killers now, and you brought up like the shooters in like Washington and the one in Stockton.
Yeah.
And I had told my dad, I'm like, yeah, but like I was meaning like up close and personal, like Dahmer, like Ted Bundy.
Yeah,
like
well,
Gacy.
there was a few that I told you about.
Huh?
There were a few that I told you about within the last 20 years that were up close and personal killings, and not the only one that I made that for a fact was like the shooter thing is the current one going on in Stockton.
Well, so one of the things that my dad mentioned is he's like, probably the serial killer thing, it's still happening, but we just don't know about it because it's probably in like regional areas, places that aren't like hugely talked about, or like huge, I guess, that are that important for us to know about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you ever heard about Coney. It was like some guy who was recruiting children, I think in Africa or somewhere over there, and
Right.
like having them kill their parents and stuff. Like, yeah, so like it wasn't hugely talked about, and so that's why like a lot of people didn't know about it.
Right.
So that's what my dad was saying. He was like, well, maybe it is happening. We just don't know about it because it's happening in places that aren't really popular. No one cares about, unfortunately.
I think 100% that's happening. I think also stuff is happening here, but one thing that we have learned is that a lot of these people want the publicity, the attention. Yeah. So putting that information out there, it does more harm than good. It feeds like the fire. So
okay. So it's kind of like what I said about the suicide forest, where they stopped updating the amount of deaths and stuff because they wanted to reduce the amount of popularity towards the forest.
Yeah, and I mean, you hear about so many instances where it's like, oh, even if they don't want the attention, but the authorities release too much information and the killer changes their method, or there's a copycat killer because they do want the attention. So, oh, well, I'm going to kill somebody just like this guy is. You know, so I feel like so much is just like hush hush, and we find out about things like later.
Yeah, once they're like,
once they've already been convicted and they're locked away and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So here's my question.
Okay.
Are you dressing up? Because I know we talked about... So did you ever find out what Allison is?
She's a police officer. I forgot. Okay, she's a police officer.
Okay, so she's a police officer. Are you and your husband getting dressed up?
We talk about it every year. He never does. We even talked about, because we were like at Party City looking at Halloween costumes. We're like, oh, we should be inmates. And like, Allison is a police officer, so, you know, it'd be kind of cute. Most likely he won't, and I'll just throw together like a scarecrow thing like I've done before, because I have flannel shirts and I'll just do the makeup and all that stuff just because it's super easy, you know? So that's probably what I'll do. Madison was trying to tell me that I should do.
Misty.
You're gonna do who? Huh?
I'm gonna be Misty from Pokemon.
Oh, okay, the chick. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so I have like the red hair, and it's not like super long, but it's not super short, so it'll work.
Right.
The only thing I need is a yellow shirt, some red shoes, like some Chucks, which actually I wanted to go to the store and buy some new shoes anyways, and like, why not buy some red ones? It'll work.
Yeah.
And then yellow shirt, red shoes, and the red suspenders, and then I'm good to go. But here's my thing.
Okay.
He has a crop top. Now, I could have a crop top and then wear the high-waisted shorts, or I could wear just a long yellow shirt and cover up as much as possible.
Right. I mean, what you could do is also, I mean, the high-waisted shorts, that would work. Or even if it's just a long yellow shirt, and you kind of just like fold it and like tuck like the bottom hem like under like the bottom of your bra. So you can kind of like adjust how short or how long you want it. If that makes sense.
That is smart.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. So I'm trying to, basically Caleb's going to be a dinosaur. I haven't gotten any of the costumes. So Caleb wants to be a dinosaur.
Right.
I'm going to make Haley into Tinkerbell because she's a drama queen. And then I'm going to be Misty. So we're all going to be different things. I was like, we're not going to all match because, like, Caleb wants to be a dinosaur. She's going to be Tinkerbell. I'm not going to match with just one of the children because then it's going to look like I'm favoriting them. So,
yeah.
No, I'm like, we'll all be something different.
Right.
But what I want to know is if you have any Halloween traditions, because as for me being like, I would say quote unquote a new mom, like I've never had a Halloween tradition other than when I was growing up with my dad. We would just go trick-or-treating and then that was it. There was no real tradition.
Same.
So, like, what do you have?
So we do the pumpkin patch every year. Okay.
Okay.
We have movie nights where we're watching all of the like Casper and Hocus Pocus and Monster House and just all the like kid like Halloween movies.
Okay.
I'm slowly introducing Sam to like more scary movies. So,
Oh, like what?
I decided to start off with something like newer because I feel like older stuff may not like. She's like, this is fake, you know? So we watched The Bye Bye Man.
The what?
Bye Bye Man?
Bye Bye Man.
You've never seen that?
Oh, is that with Jessica Biel?
No.
No, that's something else.
That's a different one. I've seen that one.
Bye Bye Man?
Yes. Is it the like it's a typical recent scary movie. There were a few jump scares that got me, and I screamed, and Sam, like, kind of whatever. I'm just like, okay, did the movie scare you, or did I scare you? She's like, you scared me. I was like, okay.
I don't think I've seen this movie, but I am very particular about the scary movies I watch, because I love me some horror movies, and if they're not scary, I just turn them off. I'm just like, this is boring.
Yeah, no, I watched it, and I figured it was a good intro to Sam because, well, one thing that's very hard is a lot of scary movies have a lot of vulgar talk, a lot of sex. This had one short scene that didn't really full on show anything, but kind of did. And I was just like, I muted it. I was like, hey, close your eyes real quick. And then, like, not even 10 seconds later, it was over.
Right.
So.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty good. She was like, yeah, it wasn't that scary. I'm just like, okay, then we're going to start into some scarier stuff because I don't think there's anything wrong with kids watching scary movies.
So really shitty then, because my son is 4 and I was scrolling through Netflix,
right?
And he wanted to watch it.
Okay.
So I said, fuck it, okay.
Yeah, why not?
And at the scene where, and it's the newer one, so in the newer one, Georgie's arm gets bit off and he's like crawling away and the blood is like coming out of his arm. All I know is that Caleb was like, he's bleeding. That's a lot of blood. His arm got ripped off because of the clown, huh? I'm like, yeah, huh?
I mean, that's
he's a bad guy. I'm like, yeah, he's a bad guy, and he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like, that's like how my kids are. Then, like, I don't. It's not that like, oh, my kids aren't allowed to watch scary movies, or they weren't allowed to watch scary movies. They just didn't have an interest in it. If they wanted to, oh yeah, by all means, come on, let's sit down and watch this movie. You know. There are times.
The thing is that Caleb was all like whatever about it, but then when he sees it, he's like, "Oh, I'm scared." When he sees it, and I'm like, "You just watched it, and you were like, whatever about it."
Right. Well, probably because it's like it was on the TV, and if it's like, I don't know what you mean when he sees it. Like, is he seeing it like on the TV or on your phone or like?
Oh, we were watching it on my TV, and then like. We stopped watching it, and then it just kind of like, you know how on Netflix or whatever, when it's like, it's on the idle thing or whatever, it like scrolls through like movies and stuff. It showed it, and he was like, oh, it's scary.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, like my kids will stop and they'll be like, oh, what's going on? Oh, somebody's getting their Achilles tendon cut. And they're like, oh, that probably hurts. I was like, oh yeah, that hurts. So, okay, bye.
That's so funny.
Like they're not fazed by it, but it's also because like I don't make a big deal of it. So.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but so watching scary movies, doing the whole pumpkin patch thing, I'm trying to think of what else.
Obviously going trick-or-treating.
Well, yeah, obviously going trick-or-treating. I mean, come on. I think that's kind of it. Like, because Halloween is such a short, like, they're, like, we live in an apartment. So it's like we could carve a pumpkin, but it's like, what are we gonna do with it? You know?
That's true.
Especially when it's like I have 2 kids, so it's like they're each gonna carve a pumpkin. And it's like, what are we gonna do with it? And then Allison, okay, get this. Allison had a little school project. It was a pumpkin project. Okay. It was things like, do you think your pumpkin's going to sink or float? So it's a small pumpkin that's like, I don't know, as big as Haley's head. Like, it's small, you know, it's not teeny tiny like the ones that fit in the palm of your hand, but,
right.
You know, so we filled up the bathtub and she put her pumpkin in there. She's like, oh, she said that she thought it was going to float, and then it floated, so, okay, it floated. And then it was like, how tall is your pumpkin? How wide is your pumpkin? How many lines do you think your pumpkin's going to have? How many lines does it have? And then we got to the last part, and it says, how many seeds do you think your pumpkin is going to have? And how many seeds does it have? Or did it have? So she made her guess. I was like, okay, we have to cut open your pumpkin to count the seeds. No, cutting open the pumpkin. She had gotten so attached to this thing. I mean, she was sleeping with it practically every night. She was carrying it around everywhere.
God.
Like, this was like her little baby. So she's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, okay, it's one question. We're not doing it. If your teacher's going to be a brat about it, then, like, sucks to be her. But you don't want to cut open your pumpkin, we're not cutting open your pumpkin.
Oh my gosh. That is so cute.
Yeah.
Though.
So, but yeah, I mean, we don't really have too many Halloween traditions, just because I feel like Halloween is one of the, what I would call major holidays that there's very few things you can do. I mean, yeah, there are trunk or treats that go on all month long, but it's basically the same thing as trick or treating, you know? So that's pretty much it.
Whatchamacallit? I think for me, it's downloading, Caleb. Here you go. Sorry. Since I don't have traditions, I think this is what I'm gonna do. Trunk or treat, I think, is gonna be our thing for a while because Caleb's very timid about trick or treating.
Gotcha.
So trunk or treating might be a thing. I did the carving the pumpkin thing. No. Too messy. I did a great job though. I did a dinosaur, but it's just way too messy.
Yeah.
There is 2 other things I think that I'm going to incorporate, which are Halloween cartoons, kind of like the Charlie Brown one.
Okay.
It's not going to be scary. It'll be more kid-friendly, like super kid-friendly.
Right.
And then the other thing is there is these events that people set up. I believe it's like the Festival of Lights, but it's like a pumpkin place.
Uh-huh.
Like they have lights and stuff. And it's very kid-friendly. So I was thinking about going there. And then the pumpkin patch.
Nice.
I've been to a pumpkin patch with Caleb twice.
Uh-huh.
Or 3 times. He went 2 times with me and then once with his grandma. I think I was in school or something. I don't know where I was. But, what was I going to say? But I think those are like good starting things to kind of weed out and figure out what we want to keep as a tradition.
Right.
So I'm testing out the waters on different things.
Yeah. You know,
because for all I know, because I have more traditions on Christmas.
Yeah, same.
Than I do anything else.
Same. I think there's a house. Let's see.
For example, like for Christmas, I cannot watch A Christmas Story. I can only watch it on Christmas.
You
not allowed
and
to
that
watch
movie.
It anytime during the year.
You and that movie. That is one of the movies, because before you used to watch it even when it wasn't Christmas. And I was just like, can we stop with this movie already? Can we stop?
Are you sure?
Yes.
When?
I
don't remember ever watching that movie with you ever.
we were really young. Obviously, we were still living together.
Yeah, because I remember only being able to watch it on Christmas.
Well, your dad wasn't living at the house with us. So...
Oh, maybe that's, like, I felt like, oh, okay.
Like, I'm gonna watch this movie because it's, like, one of my favorite movies, and nobody's gonna tell me no because who's watching you? Nobody, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I used to watch that movie all the time. But, side note, back to Halloween, there is a house that decorates with a bunch of lights and everything, and the lights go along with music.
That's in Riverside, right?
Yes. So...
Yeah, I've seen videos of that. I've never seen it, though. Like, in person.
I want to go. I've seen videos of it. I want to go. I'm going to try to make it. Maybe next weekend.
You gotta go early, because that thing gets packed fast, I've heard.
Yeah. Maybe next weekend. I need to find out, like, information about, like, how, like, does this work?
Check this out. There's this house in Covina that has, like, this tall, like, fence, and you can see through it. It has its regular picket fence that's, like, white, but, like a super tall fence to keep people from touching his props and stuff.
Okay.
And it has, like, he, like, decorates his house for every, what do you call it? What is the word I'm looking
Holiday?
for? Holiday. My goodness. I'm so sick. For every holiday. Specifically Halloween, he goes all out, and he has a haunted house, and he charges for it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've never been in it, but I'm very intrigued to know, like, what it's about,
Right.
and what he does, because every year he does it. And every holiday, his house is always decked out, like Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving. I will say, granted, Christmas and, well, Halloween's the most he'll have things of. Christmas is, like, a slight bit less, and then the other holidays are, like, less items, but it's really cool. Just driving by his house is very intriguing. People will stop just to take pictures.
That's awesome. So there is a house close to where I live that goes all out for Christmas. And they do it every single year. And they have, like, a little, like, concession stand and all this stuff. And we go by every year. And it's really neat. Like, they have, like, a mini Ferris wheel with, like, stuffed animals in it and just, like, all kinds of stuff. And it was actually, like, their house was featured on like, one of those TV shows about Christmas lights.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So there's always a lot more, I think, for Christmas traditions than Halloween traditions, for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's true. I just think that unless you're, like, into dark stuff, there's really no, like, traditions other than, like, some evil stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like, I can't wait till, like, the girls are older, or at least one of Sam is older, and we can do, like, Not Scary Farm and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I
Like,
really want to go to stuff like that. Like,
I love
would
going
think
to
that
stuff like that. I haven't gone to stuff like
that would
that.
be...
I haven't gone to stuff like that in a long time, since Sam was, like, a baby.
Dude, that would be so much fun if we could, like... That would be a good couple's date.
Yes.
Like, if we had the kids babysat for one night... Well, not night, just for a good portion.
Right.
Your kids and my kids. Up until, like, I don't know, however late we could get it. And then, like, you, Alan, me, and Curtis all go. That would be so much fun.
That would be fun. It would be fun.
I'd be so down. We should talk about this later.
Yeah, we will. We will. We just have to figure out, babysitting arrangements. But
My dad will babysit my kids.
well, yeah, but I got to figure out mine, because it's like
Rolling with my dad.
Mom lives in the opposite direction. Grandma's kind of old. I don't know if Alan's parents would agree to watching the girl, so I gotta talk to Alan. Oh, my sister-in-law? That might be a possibility. That might be a possibility.
Be like, hey, my favorite sister-in-law, how's it going?
That I've neglected because, I have mental issues and I was in a hole for a long time. Please forgive me and watch my kids.
Oh my god.
Oh, that got dark. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
But,
man.
We're trying to figure out which pumpkin patch we're going to take the girls to. We used to go to one all the time that was a very decent sized one, had lots of attractions, rides, and stuff like that, even though the girls were like too little to go on the rides.
Right.
But still, we found out there's a new one that during the day is for kids and after 7 is for like adults.
Okay.
So, which I don't know, like, we usually go at night when we take the girls, so that one would be out of the question. But we're trying to find a local one that we can take the girls to this year, because the one that we used to go to, I don't know if it's there, and even if it is there, it has gotten a lot smaller. So, I'm just like, why must you change? Like, you were the tradition place. Like, this is where we went.
Yeah, the pumpkin patches by here, like there's a small pumpkin patch and then they have like a bunch of Christmas stuff right next to it.
Like right now they have Christmas stuff next to it?
Yeah.
What?
It makes no sense.
That's so weird. Like,
it's all the fake trees.
Right.
And it's all the lights and like I'm like, but we're in October.
Like we haven't gotten through Halloween. We haven't even gotten close to Thanksgiving. Like,
did everyone just forget about Thanksgiving? Like
apparently. Apparently.
I feel like nobody decorates for Thanksgiving. It's just like everyone knows we get fat this day.
Well, I mean, it's like, what really are you going to like decorate? Like, I feel like it's more of a turkey. It's more of an interior decoration than an exterior decoration,
That's true.
So
so this is the first time I'm living in an apartment, and I know that you've lived in an apartment for some time now. Do you get Christmas trees?
I don't, because they trigger my asthma. Apparently I'm allergic.
Oh, that's right.
So we have an artificial one, which I protested for a long time. Because I didn't know that was the reason why I was ending up in the hospital every year.
Oh my goodness.
But
okay,
we decided, we're going to get an artificial one. We got one for what I think was a pretty good price. And I think it's a good artificial tree. There's lots of lights. There's lots of branches. And like, you fluff it up and it looks good. It doesn't look like you can see through it and you can tell it's like just like a Charlie Brown artificial tree. So
right.
we used
I think I might get a tree, not an artificial one, and I think I might get a tree and then like have the kids like put stuff on it.
Yeah, the kids always decorate it, and then I redecorate it. Which is fine. It's fine. It's whatever. I would suggest getting a cheap one for now. And then after Christmas is over this year, get a more better one. Because they usually go on sale after Christmas.
Okay.
So
I might look into that.
Yeah. I got mine at Home Depot. And
you got yours where?
Home Depot?
Oh, Home Depot. Oh, my dad had like coupons for Home Depot. That's like his favorite store.
Yeah, it's Home Depot. Who doesn't love Home Depot? But yeah, I got mine there. I think it's like 6.5 feet tall. Like, I don't know. And it's like, it's a decent size one for sure. And it's already pre-lit and everything. It has different settings for the lights. And I don't know. I really like it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's something I have to look into.
Yes.
But anyways, back into Halloween.
Yes. We don't want to be like everybody. We don't want to be like everybody else and skip over Halloween because it's a thing.
Halloween's very important.
It's a thing. Can I just say that I've been loving the weather at night and in like the early mornings lately?
Oh my God, yes.
Like,
I love it. I love it.
Like, it's officially spooky season, but I feel like it's spooky season when it's cold like that.
I just, like, I have so many sweaters.
Me too. I'm so excited.
And I want to wear them.
I'm so excited for this weekend because it's actually going to be cold enough to wear a sweater. Plus, I will be staying at mom's this weekend, so it's even colder over there. I'm taking my sweaters. I am taking my sweaters. And I am so excited.
I think on Saturday it's supposed to rain. Possibly. That's what it claims, really? But I don't know if it's actually going to rain.
Let me see. Handy dandy phone.
Huh?
I said, let me see on my handy dandy phone. Did you hear there's going to be a Blue's Clues movie?
The what?
Yes.
My goodness. Okay, listen. Steve is my man.
He's going to be in it.
He's going to make forever the Blue's Clues
He's
guy.
going to make an appearance in the movie.
Huh?
He's going to make an appearance in the movie.
Okay, but after Steve, it was who?
I don't know. I never watched. I don't know. I never watched it. I just knew that he changed and everybody was mad.
Okay, hold on. I have to look this up because I can't. His name was Joe. Joe was fine. I feel like he was okay, but he was just kind of very serious. But I was on board. Now this guy Josh.
Who's Josh?
I'm fine with him too. They actually sign. They do sign language in the new series of Blue's
Clues. Who's Josh?
Josh is the new guy. The new
There's
guy.
A new. I don't watch this stuff. My kids don't watch this stuff.
Okay, so there's been 3 so far. There was Steve, the guy who started it all.
Uh-huh.
Then there was Joe. Joe was like this white guy with like kind of long hair. And Joe is actually in the new Blue's Clues as well. He is featured with the guy Josh, who I believe is like Filipino.
Okay, the Asian kid. Okay, Asian guy. Like, okay. I saw the Asian.
I'm not mad about it.
I have no opinion about it. Like, I really don't care. I was never really into Blue's Clues to begin with.
Let's put it this way. Just to reiterate Steve, he did this appearance and he did a video for all of us, and I cried. He gave me the closure I didn't know I needed.
I heard about that. And yeah, I figured that was definitely more for like you than like me.
Yeah.
Because you got to think, the first episode of Blue's Clues came out when I was 6. Like,
right.
It was more geared towards, I believe, like preschool age, like 4-year-olds.
I get it, yeah.
You know, so granted, you were only like 2 at the time, but it was definitely more your show.
Yeah, so, yeah, it came out September 8th, 1996.
Yeah, so you were like almost 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was, yeah.
Yeah. You were
math right now. Yeah, so I was almost 2.
Right. Yeah, so it was definitely geared towards you. I kind of missed the mark. Like,
all I got, basically, since you've never actually like knew this show, is just like one day on an episode he was like,
the show.
I went off to college and then just disappeared, and I'm just like,
oh yeah, I heard about that, but like
it was devastating. Because we're like, what do you mean, Steve? Like, we didn't have, like, a leading up moments, like, a couple episodes, okay, guys, like, now it's time to get ready. I'm going to be packing because eventually I'm going to go to college, you know? Nah, he just got up and split, and then we got Joe, and
deuces, I'm out.
Get out.
Yeah, Joe, who are you? Yeah, no.
We ended up loving Joe. Joe did great.
Okay.
And then the new guy, Josh, we were all skeptical about him. We're like, I don't know. But he's actually doing pretty good. I'm like, I'm not mad about it.
Interesting. Okay.
Flash.
Yeah, that was just, it wasn't my show. I remember I remember Mr. Salt, or was it Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper? Something like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I remember they ended up having kids that were other, like, Paprika and, like...
Yeah.
Rose, I don't know what the other one's name, like, Cinnamon, I don't know. But it's like...
Peppermint, I think? I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know, but it's like, how do you get... I know for sure one was Paprika. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. How do you get Paprika from Salt and Pepper? Tell me that. Like, Mrs. Salt or Mrs. Pepper or whoever you are, like, something's not adding up here. Like, you've been beating up with somebody in the pantry over there, because, nah.
Oh, my God. I think it's just, okay, you're getting a little too...
I'm just saying.
It was just supposed to be, like, just to get all the spices, pretty much.
It don't work that way. You mix salt and pepper together, you don't get paprika, okay?
But what I'm saying, it was just to get all the spices. I don't know. What was I going to tell you? There is a... So, before we end this episode,
yes,
there's something I want you to look up.
Okay.
It's a cartoon.
Okay.
And I want to say it came out in 19...
Just give me a dang name.
Huh?
What's the name of the show?
I can't remember.
Oh, jeez. Okay,
That's
what's
what
it
I'm trying
about?
to look up. I'm trying to look it up right now.
What's it about?
Let me see. Because it's super fucking creepy.
What is it about?
It's like a claymation.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, what was it called? Okay, so it's The Mysterious Stranger from the Adventures of Mark Twain. Okay.
Okay.
Now this was like a kid show or whatever, but the one thing I will tell you, and after Amber watches it, and I think what I'll have you do is, I mean, unless you want to watch it right now, we could get your raw reaction while you see it. Because I don't know if you want to wait until our next episode. It's legit like 5 minutes.
I'll watch it. I don't see how this could possibly be geared towards kids.
Yeah, so it is. It is geared towards kids. Let me send it to you, though.
Okay.
The one specifically I want you to watch. I sent it to you on our Discord.
Okay.
It's 5 minutes. You can fast forward or whatever. We're going to take a quick break. So, yeah, a lot of people was like, this is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. It's not even creepy.
I'm just like, what?
Kids movie.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's creepy. I just think it's, like, bizarre.
Well, okay, so a lot of people are like, this is the creepiest thing I've ever seen in a kid's movie. Now, like, yes, it's as an adult, like, between you and I, like, if we were to watch it and it was aimed towards adults, it'd be like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, all right. But if it's aimed towards kids, that's scary. Because, like, I mean, I wouldn't show Caleb this at all.
Okay.
It's so creepy. He's like... I don't even know, man.
I don't think this was geared towards kids.
If you could find out, we'll touch base on it next.
Yeah, next episode. I gotta read about this because I'm very intrigued right now. Like, it is very bizarre.
It's very weird.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna be.
And my biggest thing is, like, it made me feel all sorts of ways where I was like super uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm just like, what and why, and this is just bizarre. Like, honestly, I don't really feel much. But
I mean, it just is super creepy. It's just creepy in general. I don't know. Maybe it's because the first time I watched it, I was alone in a room and it was dark.
Okay. I mean, maybe. But I'm going to be reading up about this. So
next time we come back on the podcast, we'll go ahead and finish up. Well, Amber has to finish up Dahmer.
Dahmer, yes.
So we'll touch. I have my questions on that. You're gonna read up on to see if this whole thing with Mark Twain was geared towards kids or not.
Yep.
And I guess whatever else we can think of. I mean, we can't. I don't know if you're gonna give me homework. Do I have homework?
I wanted you to look up that movie, The Frighteners. We talked about it like a few weeks ago. The
Frighteners?
Yes, The Frighteners.
The Frighteners. Okay, so you'll have to put that in Discord so I remember. Also,
yes,
you had said about a band that sang about like famous horror movies.
Yes, Ice Nine Kills.
So I need that too because I'm gonna look them up.
Okay. But yes,
so that's my homework.
Is your homework. You're going to. There are 2 albums by them that I would like you not to immediately look them up and excuse me. I would like you to not immediately look them up and like read about them or read about these albums. I would like you to just look for these albums and listen to them and try to guess what movie the song is based off of.
Okay, so tell you what.
Yes.
I'll have Amber send me some songs on Discord.
Yes.
And I'm out of, I don't know, you can send me 5. And out of the 5, the next podcast, I'll let you know how many got correct on guessing.
Gotcha. That works.
Or
what?
Actually, we'll do this. Next podcast, you'll send me the songs. I will write down what I think they're about, and then I'll tell you which each one was that I thought, and you can reveal if I'm right or wrong.
Okay. No cheating. No cheating.
No cheating. No cheating. Scout's honor. I've never been a scout, but Scout's honor.
All right. Sounds good. All right, guys. I'm Amber.
I'm Tiffany.
And this is Hysterical. Catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.